Hey there, today's video is about This War of Mine. This game is not like Daylight or your typical war game, and it's not your typical survival game. It shows everything in a different angle. It deals with the normal citizen and how war can affect and brutally change their life. You have to question yourself, how far would you go to survive? My group was starving in my first game. One was ill and another one wounded. I decided to raid some obviously empty houses in night due to my misery, but the house wasn't empty. There lived an old couple. The old man told me that his wife was ill and I should leave. He didn't want to help me or at least trade with me, but I couldn't leave because otherwise it would have been the death of me and my party. I started to explore the house while the old man was begging me not to hurt anyone. I found a huge amount of food and medical equipment, more than the couple would need in a long time. I took same food to survive 2 more days and only the really needy medical stuff to get well soon. Everything else remained untouched, so they could easily live on too, and I moved on with a bad feeling. In the same night, I got raided myself, karma. During the next day, I had some visitors, friendly neighbors. They gifted me some vegetables and didn't want anything in return. Karma, I regretted my night activity even more. This was just one tricky and remarkable situation out of many. You begin with a small group of ordinary people, each having their own skills and weaknesses, and try to survive through a civil war that has left you with barely no resources. At its core, the concept of the game is quite simple, yet innovative for all I know. During the day you must take the best out of what you have to organize and shelter in order to tend to the needs of your group, while at night you go scavenging for the resources you are in dire need of. Where all this reality takes off, it's how the game mechanics have been fine-tuned so that each and every day the stakes are to the max. As it is the case for any realistic survival situation, every bit of food and material is vital and must be carefully managed. Every step you make while scavenging can be deadly and have irresistible consequences. This is a roguelike game. You cannot save, and everything you do generally have irreversible consequences. For instance, you must have water to cook food. Per the game's mechanics, raw food is less nourishing, and given a group of 4 people, you hence might need a certain amount of water to feed them well. Let's say one day you forget to tend to your water collector. The raw food you have might then not be sufficient to nourish everyone in your group. Being malnourished, someone might get sick, so that on your scavenging night, instead of simply having to find a little amount of food, you now must find water, lots of food, and some meds. Meds are usually rare, and chances are you have to sneak your way in some dangerous place to find some, and perhaps even kill someone if you get caught stealing. All this because you forgot to tend to your water collector. Add to this mix a bunch of unexpected, random events, such as kids begging for mats at your shelter, a friendly neighbor offering you a batch of vegetables. Your well-crafted survival plans can easily go south in the blinking of an eye. This is, in my opinion, what makes this game so addictive, intense, frustrating, and yet deeply enjoyable. On the technical side, there are very few bugs. The graphics are a perfect fit to the game's spirit. The environments are diverse and not repetitive, and while the music themes can be a bit repetitive, they do create a very good atmosphere. A day in the War of Mine is split into 2 parts, the day and night time. During day, you are in your house and you have time to work on new and helpful stuff for your party, manage the needs for your people, and from time to time you will get some visitors. Before the night starts, you'll have to choose if you want to go on a raid or completely stay at home, which person is allowed to sleep and which ones should guard the house. After you have made your decision, you'll all either start your raid with time limit or directly switch to the next day. This system works pretty well. How many days you have to play to finish the game can vary. Thanks to some randomization, it's worth to start another round. I'm currently on my second playthrough and it's still interesting, and the game came up with different and new situations which I haven't experienced in my first game. The developers have successfully turned a very interesting but difficult topic into a great survival game with loads of moral aspects. It made me question my actions and behavior several times, and even as a good and helpful person, there were decisions I'm not very proud of. But sometimes things need to be done to survive in a cruel world. So to sum up, this War of Mine is really interesting and very exciting game. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for watching my video. I really appreciate your attention and support. See you next video. Bye.